Okay, so on Friday we learned about slope and rate of change. Who remembers the formula for slope? And y equals mx plus b, it's the m. How do you find slope? Rise over run. You can use that when you have you can use this when you have a graph. But what if you have coordinates? What's the formula?
y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus.
Perfect. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You use this when you have a table or ordered pairs. So this one is for tables or ordered pairs. All right, let's go over and review how to do this. All right, for this one, I would label x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, then I follow the formula, y2 minus y1, so that's 6 minus 2 over x2 minus x1. How would I write that? 5 minus negative 4. So that is 6 minus 2 is 4, and that's change, which is 9. Can that be simplified? Nope, so the answer is 4/9. All right, y'all try this one on your own. Go set it up. All right, did everybody get 3 minus negative 5 over 7 minus 5, which gave you 4? All right, let's skip these two. Quick question. What if you get, let's just write it right here. What if you get 0 on top and a number on bottom? Then your slope is 0. You can have a numerator of 0. What can you not have? So if I have like 4 on top and 0 on bottom, this answer would be undefined because you cannot have 0 as a denominator. Are we okay? All right, let's look at the bottom. Graph a line through the given pair of points and find the slope. All right, so here is 1, 5, 4, negative 2. Is this answer going to be positive or negative? Yep, because it's going down from left to right. If I want to use rise over run, my rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My run is 1, 2, 3, negative 3. So my answer will be negative 7/3. Skip number 2, go to number 3. How would I graph this one? Where would I put my first dot at? On the what axis at 4? On the x-axis at 4, and then on the y-axis at 3. Good. Okay, I now can do rise over run. My rise is up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's positive, but my run is left 1, 2, 3, 4. Can that be simplified? So the answer is negative 3/4. All right. Do we need to do any more of those? All right, what about the slope of the roof at the bottom? You would use, like the roof, you would use this dot to this dot, right? So my rise would be 1, 2, 3, 4. My run would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It cannot be simplified. So this roof slope is 4/5. Now this side would be negative 4/5, but it wants the positive, like the positive answer. What about number 2's roof? 1/3, 1/3. And then what about this last roof? 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, and 3/3 simplifies to 1. Notice that the bigger the number, the steeper the slope. 1 is a bigger number than a fraction of 1, yes? Do y'all notice that this slope of this roof is steeper? Meaning, like, it would be harder to get up on that roof and, like, re-roof it or do anything up there. This one would be super easy to get up on the roof because it's not super steep. Like, I wouldn't feel like I'm falling off of it. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay, let me pass. All right, let's take a look at the assignment. It's kind of just like the assignment we did on Friday. So 1 through 6 says, pull off the points, draw a line through them, and tell if it's positive, negative, 0, or undefined. I don't need to do one of those, right? How many answers? 2. Go down to 7 through 9. Find the slope. So you can do rise over run, or you can do slope formula because they gave you coordinates. It is totally up to you. The biggest thing people are going to miss is all of these slopes are what? Negative. They're all negative. So if you forget that negative sign, you're going to miss the whole problem because they're going down from left to right. Yes, sir?
Can there be a fraction for a fraction?
Can there be what?
A fraction, like inside of the fraction on number 7.
Where do you see a fraction?
You have to do like up 1, 2, 3, and then you have to do. You have to go to the.
Okay, so it's up 1, 2, 3. That's my rise. And then I went left 2. Oh, I see. It didn't go left 2. So on this one, I probably would use slope formula. Did y'all see that? Like these points aren't falling, or are they counting by 2s? Yes. So if you wanted to use rise over run, you're actually counting by 2. So my rise of 3 was totally wrong. So my rise is actually 2, 4, 6. And my run is actually 2, 3. Does that make sense? So rise over run can get pretty tricky if they start counting by other things. So if you wanted to, you could just use the slope formula and it will never mess you up because they gave you those coordinates. Okay, now was that a good answer? No, it's not. You have to simplify it. Okay? All right. I'm glad you caught that. So same thing on the back. If it's counting by 2s, when you rise, you also have to count by 2s, or you can just use slope formula. For number 12 and 15, do you need to use rise over run or slope formula at all, or can you see the slope right away?
You can see the slope.
Yes. Okay. So for 16 through 24, it says find the slope of the line that passes through the points. So what's the formula you're going to use? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's your formula for those. Go to the back. This is where they give you the slope. They give you 2 points, but 1 is missing. So you have to solve it. So I'm going to do one of these with y'all. So let's go do number 25. Is everybody with me? All right, the first thing I would do is label. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. The slope formula will give me the slope. So I set it up. y2, that's negative 2, minus y1. What's y1? Y over x2, which is negative 9, minus, what's x1? Equals rise over run. So what is this? 1 over 1. I now have to cross multiply. Can I go ahead and solve this right here? Yeah, so negative 9 plus 3 is actually negative 6. I can't solve this because it has a variable, but I cross multiply. 1 times anything is just that, right? So I don't really have to do distributive property. I have negative 2 minus y is equal to, and then negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. You can either solve that by hand or solve it in y equals. How do y'all want to do it? Y equals? All right. y equals, I put in the left side -2 minus x, and then y2 would be -6. Second trace, option 5. Enter, enter, enter. What does it equal? So y is equal to 4. Okay, that's how you're going to set up those. Then go to number 31. This one actually wants you to do some math. A says, determine the time interval during which the distance from home showed the greatest rate of change. Remember, when it's most steep, it will have the greatest slope. But you can go do rise over run, or you could go do slope formula to see which one of these from 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, or 15 to 20 had the greatest rate of change. B says, determine the time interval during which the distance showed the least rate of change. So if you go find all of their slopes, then you can answer A and B. Yes? And then C says, give a verbal description. So you're going to give a verbal description of this. Does everybody understand? All right, get busy. You should finish this in class.